Good morning, First Unity. Welcome to February. This is the month of love. It is Black History Month. We are so glad that you could be with us. If you would please rise for our song, written by our very own Lisa Nadell.
Love is who I am.
Love is who I am. Ooh, ooh. Gratitude, my attitude. Ooh, ooh. Abundance is my nature. Ooh, ooh. Well-being, my birthright. Love is who I am. Love is who I am. Love is who I am.
So many questions and no answers come to mind. But then I remember that it's quite simple. I remember to look inside my heart. It's the best place to start.
Love is who I am. Ooh, ooh. Gratitude, my attitude. Ooh, ooh. Abundance is my nature. Who I am. Love is who I am. Love is who I am.
So if you're feeling discouraged and don't know how to decide which road to take, just try to remember that it's quite simple. Just remember to look inside your heart. It's the best place to start.
Love is who I am. Ooh, ooh. Gratitude, my attitude. Ooh, ooh. Abundance is my nature. Ooh, ooh. Well-being, my birthright. Love is who I am. Love is who I am. Love is who I am. Kingdom made of that good news. I got a Savior in that kingdom made of that good news. I'm gonna lay down this world, gonna shoulder up my cross, gonna take it home to my Jesus into that good news. I got a crown up into that kingdom, into that good news. I got a crown up into that kingdom, into that good news. I'm gonna lay down this world, gonna shoulder up my cross, gonna take it home to my Jesus into that good news. I got a crown up into that kingdom, into that good news. I got a crown up into that kingdom, into that good news. I'm gonna lay down this world, gonna shoulder up my cross, gonna take it home to my Jesus, gonna take it home to my Jesus, gonna take it home into that good news.
Black History Month was created in 1926 in the United States when historian Carter Godwin Woodson and the Association for the Study of Negro Life and History announced the second week of February to be Negro History Week. Since the 1890s, Black communities celebrated the birthdays of two people considered to have a big impact on Black history in the United States: Abraham Lincoln, February 12th, the American president that issued a preliminary Emancipation Proclamation that declared all enslaved people be forever freed in 1863, and Frederick Douglass, February 14th. After escaping slavery, he became a national leader of the abolitionist movement to end slavery and famous for his anti-slavery writings. In 1915, Woodson traveled to Washington, D.C. to participate in a national celebration of the nationwide emancipation. He was inspired by experiences from his trip to create an organization to promote the study of Black life and history. Soon after, he helped to form what is now known as the Association for the Study of African American Life and History. This association in 1926 sponsored a National Negro History Week, choosing the second week of February to coincide with Lincoln and Douglas's birthday. This inspired schools and communities nationwide to organize events to celebrate. The first Negro History Week was met with a lukewarm response, gaining the cooperation of the Department of Education of the states of North Carolina, Delaware, and West Virginia, as well as the city school administrations of Baltimore and Washington, D.C. Woodson felt that at least 1 week would allow for the general movement to become something annually celebrated. He realized the subject needed to resonate with a greater audience. Woodson contended that the teaching of Black history was essential to ensure the physical and intellectual survival of the race. If a race has no history, it has no worthwhile tradition. It becomes an unimportant factor in the world, and it stands in danger of being exterminated. By 1929, with only 2 exceptions, officials with the state departments of education of every state with a considerable Black population made the event known to their teachers and distributed official literature. Churches also played a significant role in the distribution of literature, with the Black press aiding in the publicity effort. Throughout the 1930s, Negro History Week countered the growing myth of the lost cause of the Confederacy, that Blacks were better off under slavery. When you control a man's thinking, you do not have to worry about his actions, Woodson wrote in his book, The Miseducation of the Negro. You do not have to tell him not to stand here or go yonder. he will find his proper place and will stay in it. Throughout the following decades, Negro History Week grew in popularity, with mayors across the United States endorsing it as a holiday. Black History Month was first proposed by Black educators and the Black United States student at Kent State University in February 1969. The first celebration of Black History Month took place at Kent State 1 year later, from January 2nd to February 28th in 1970. By 1976, Black History Month was being celebrated all across the country when President Gerald Ford recognized the month during the celebration of the United States bicentennial. He urged Americans, seize the opportunity to honor the too often neglected accomplishments of Black Americans in every area of endeavor throughout our history. Black History Month is observed in the United States and Canada in February. Ireland, the Netherlands, and the United Kingdom celebrate in October. On February 22nd, 2016, a 106-year-old Washington, D.C. resident and school volunteer, Virginia McLaurin, visited the White House as part of Black History Month. When asked by President Obama why she was there, McLaurin said,
Look at him. Yay! Right there. Like, that's me.
Yes. And I'm here to celebrate Black history.
That's exactly
Yeah,
right.
that's what I'm here for.
That's
Well, we're glad
right.
to have you here.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Yes. And I think until we learn how to tell his story and her story and all of the truth in it, it's really hard for us to create a story of togetherness. So I'm going to ask you, if you would, to take just a moment, maybe place your hand over your heart and ask your heart to open wide. Ask the mind to follow suit, the heart. And think on this as we move into this time of welcome today. The heart is the light of the world. Don't let your mind cover it up. The heart is the light of the world. Don't let your mind cover it up. So right now our hearts are open. And we open up our love and we send out our love into this world that seems to be so divided. The reality is that we're all interconnected irrevocably and eternally. So we speak that reality into existence. We honor our brothers and sisters who have experienced such great oppression in this country and in other countries, but in this country specifically. And we choose to heal, we choose to restore and to reconcile ourselves to the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so that we can move forward and not repeat history. May our minds and our hearts be wide open to complete and true unity. I pray this prayer in the name and the nature of the indwelling Christ presence, the essence of the divine. Amen. And so it is. And I want to say welcome to you, every one of you. And I'm going to ask you to do something real quick. Look at somebody, if you would, and say, my. You are beautiful. You are gorgeous. You are brilliant. You are awesome. I think I like you. In fact, I know I love you. I see the divine in you. I call you blessed. I call you blessed. I see health, wealth, and well-being fully embodied in your life. I see so much good coming to you that it's going to overtake you. Now high five 2 or 3 people, hug somebody's neck, tell them you're glad to see them here at First Unity Spiritual Campus today. We're also welcoming those who are joining us online around the world. We welcome you. We welcome in Portugal. We welcome in Prague. We welcome the United Kingdom. We welcome Africa, Canada, Mexico. We welcome you, Kelly, from New York City. We welcome all of you from West Virginia and everybody who's viewing all around the world. We welcome you here now, and we say thank you for viewing. Thank you for being a part of this community virtually. And we're going to ask you, if you don't mind, typing into the comments where you're watching from. And my name is Jon Scott. I was supposed to tell you that already, and I got so excited I forgot my own name, which is really not that bad of a thing, because before I had a name, I was named in the heart of God. So were you. I'm going to ask you, if you don't mind, to silence your phones if you haven't done so already. Also, if you're interested in being an official part of this community, look, you are officially a part of us. We're irrevocably and eternally connected. But because of the laws of the land and the way communities tend to work, in order to have voting privilege is in the 501c3 that we ask you to consider becoming a member of this campus. And this gives you an opportunity to vote during any elections. This gives you an opportunity to be nominated to be on the board of trustees. This gives you an opportunity to have discounts on facility rentals and other great little aspects that come along with that. And so it's a blessing. And so many of you have already joined over the years. And if you want to make sure you're on that list, go ahead and reach out to us by signing up at firstunity.org. You can see the new discovery class as well. And those of you who are online, you can join too. Yes, you can be an official member of this campus by doing the same thing and going to firstunity.org and to the membership page. Also, we're continuing to look for sacred skills around here, folks who would be willing to help in these categories and in these areas around the campus. If you're interested in being a part of any of this and serving in this way, reach out to Rebecca Joy after the service or send an email to rebeccajoy@firstunity.org. If you're with us for the very first time today, the reason I'm in a jersey is because it's Super Bowl Sunday. I know the Falcons are not in the game. Whatever. But last week I didn't say wear the jersey of a team that's in the game. I said wear your favorite team's jersey, and I'm still a dirty bird, always a dirty bird, Falcons. Anyway, go Falcons. Maybe they'll find a bowl, even if it's not a super one. If you're with us for the first time today, if you don't mind, if you feel comfortable doing so, slip your hand up. One of our spiritual support team would love to bring you a Get Acquainted card as well as a gift. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here. And let me just remind you, you're going to see that in some of our announcements in a moment. We are having a Super Bowl party here. Is there anybody, I'm going to put you on the spot. Anybody planning on attending this Super Bowl party this evening? Look at this. We're going to have a good crowd. So it's a Super Bowl party. It's also a chili cook-off. Anybody love some chili about this time of year? If it was a little more chilly, you might want some chili, but you know how Florida is on our chili cook-off, 80 degrees. Come on, somebody. We are going to have the chili cook-off. We have 20 squares left, so don't be a square, get a square. All right? We have 20 squares left, and it's really just it's a fundraiser. It's a 50-50 raffle, and they'll explain. I don't even know how it works. They'll explain it to you. If you go out to the box office, and you can see Leah at the end of the service and grab yourself a square. All right, I'm going to ask you to turn your attention to the screens for our announcement video.
Hey, First Unity family. Happy Sunday. Carrie Bell Scott here. I'm bringing you your campus news. Our artist of the month is Philip Battaglia. Please support his artistry, which is displayed in our lobby hallway. Every Wednesday, we have a noon meditation with Reverend Dr. Aileen Curtin and 6 p.m. evening meditation with Reiki available. Join us here in the sanctuary for both. The book study group of the book In Service to Love by Darlene Green will be held in room 300 at 6 p.m. every other Thursday until March 7th. The next session is scheduled for February 22nd. Please register online. If you're called to be part of the change you'd like to see in the world, join our Oneness and Social Justice team. Meetings are held every second and fourth Tuesday of the month in room 301 at 7 p.m. The next meeting is February 13th. Join Alexander Geiger to develop and sharpen your compassionate communication skills. This 4-week series begins Tuesday, February 13th and continues every Tuesday until March 5th in Friendship Hall at 6:30 p.m. Learn how to effectively respond to immediate medical emergencies while attending the American Heart Association CPR First Aid class on Saturday, February 17th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. in Friendship Hall. 2-year certification is available. Just a reminder that our volunteer drive is going on throughout the month of February. If you have skills in the following areas and would like to serve, please visit the volunteer table in the lobby. Join Emmanuel Yerna for the Snow Full Moon Meditation and Drum Circle on Saturday, February 24th at 7 p.m. under the purple tent. Mothers feed and tend to your baby bundle of joy in privacy in our Mother's Room located in Friendship Hall. Our membership drive is in full swing. If you would like to become a member and secure voting rights on important campus considerations, discounts on rentals, and the possibility to serve on our board of trustees, please visit firstunity.org and follow the prompts under Become a Member. Our annual town hall meeting will be held on Sunday, February 25th at 2 p.m. in the sanctuary. We will review the highlights and milestones of 2023, as well as new business and opportunities in 2024. All are welcome to join us. We are looking for a facilitator for our singles group. Please email Reverend Aileen to express your interest. Meetings are suspended until a new facilitator is identified. Be sure to stay up to date with everything going on around campus. Visit firstunity.org. I love you guys. I'll see you soon.
In my soul.
So now as we go deeper within ourselves, to feel the essence of who we are, which is joy, peace, love. I'll invite you now to close your outer eyes. Make yourself as comfortable as you possibly can. For those of you at home, maybe you'd like to lie down, or maybe you're listening to this later on in the week. So in this moment now, as we prepare, just like a bird needs 2 wings to fly, so too spirit needs meditation, so that we can connect the wisdom of the mind with the compassion of the heart. So when we come into our meditations or into our prayer, we're allowing the essence of who we are, spirit, prana, chi, God, goddess, whatever label matters not. We are now entering this time to experience the essence of who we are, beyond our names, beyond our titles, what we do, what our bodies look like. So going into that place now where we release the spirit of who we are. Connecting now with our breath and our breathing here as we dispel any blocks that we may be carrying in our physical body, which shows up as tension or tightness. So beginning to scan our bodies here now as we take a big inhale breath, going your own way, drawing it all the way up to the top, and then exhaling as you sigh out and release and let go. Continuing here at our own pace, so filling up, receiving a breath, and then as you exhale, giving that breath back, releasing and letting go. Keep on going, filling up. Maybe this time holding at the top and watching the turnaround as we exhale and release. So maybe doing a couple of more at your own pace. Relaxing the body so that we release and let go of the blockages, the tensions that prevent the energy of who we are to fly free. So allowing spirit now to breathe through you as you. Maybe coming into your own natural breath and breathing now. And scanning your body one more time and sending the breath to any areas of tension or tightness. And maybe letting go of the resistance to hold on. Maybe allowing your palms, your hands to be comfortable. Notice if you can relax your eyes. Relax your jaws and allow your shoulder blades to simply just draw down and away. Feeling your spine now firmly connecting to the earth or maybe to the back of your chair. Just returning to the root of your being. Allowing any outside sounds or noise to take you deeper to this state, the root of your being. Dropping to the heart space now, and just taking some moments here to notice if you are resisting or holding on to any resentments, any blockages here in the heart space. Just simply noticing and maybe visualizing at the back of your heart, the Anahata heart space, coming to the spiritual heart that is never hurt, the heart that is never offended, the heart that can never be broken. This is your spiritual heart, the heart who you are. Do an inventory here and allow your exhale breath to dispel any blockages, allowing the radiant light of love to move through this center of your system here. Maybe even placing your hand over your heart or in front, and noticing if there is a free flow of energy now that is moving in from the back of the heart through the heart. Just moving in and out. And maybe like the waves of the ocean, fanning this energy here now. As you dispel and release any blockages here. And resting here in the heart space today, maybe breathing in, love is, breathing out, I am. Maybe you'd like to drop the mind lower than the heart today. Maybe visualize that you are dropping the mental, judging mind and simply staying in the heart space. So I will let you all connect here for a few cycles of breath, filling up, expanding the rib cage, and exhaling, releasing and letting go of any blockages and allowing the light, the energy to move freely. Noticing now that the energy of the heart space is like a bridge. It will keep drawing the energy, the essence of who you are upwards, even higher. And notice how the heart space, the Anahata heart, connects us to the upper, the higher energy systems that connect us to the essence, the God, presence, the stillness. Maybe now affirming the following. I am pure consciousness. I am spirit. I am love. I am light. Just use your own internal words and feelings your own way. Allowing the radiant light of love and peace and joy to dispel any blocks. Feeling now connected to the crown chakra and just feeling the essence of who you are expanding out. Realizing that you're not a spirit in a body. Your body is in your spirit. You are bigger, larger than anything your body could ever contain. So stay in this energy, this feeling of your consciousness expanding out as wide as you can visualize, as wide as you can feel. This is the essence and the energy of who you are. So much larger than your body, your title, so much larger than my name, so much larger than who I think I am. So staying here now, feeling ourselves connected to one another here in this sanctuary, this space today. And now as we take the radiant light of love that we are, sending this energy up and out into the wider community, out ahead of us into the state, into the country, into the continent, into the world. Maybe you can take your energy further today, so send it out wherever it needs to go. Maybe opening up your hands in a gesture of openness, palms facing upwards, maybe feeling this energy now as you lift it up and over and out and beyond your physical body. And then drawing this energy up, if you'd like to draw it over the top of your head, the crown chakra, as we slowly now begin to draw our energy back in to this temporary vessel, this body. Slowly beginning to lengthen the inhale, the exhale breath as we draw this energy back in. Maybe pushing our palms together, bowing our heads towards our hearts, pushing our thumbs into our heart space. Just taking the last few moments here to come back into this room, this space. Allow a smile to come over our faces as we feel the energy of who we are. And then now, ever so slowly, opening up our eyes as we look around to see Spirit God expressed in one another. Seeing the divine light within each and every one of us, expressed in one another. We bow our heads, honor one another when we say, Namaste.
After that meditation, I was going to sing, I believe I can fly. Look out now, I got something started. I see how we're going to turn into the Unity Mass Choir. Good morning. Everybody smile at me. Aren't y'all beautiful? Yes, in fact you are. I don't know what to expect today. What's new? But I really have felt a very interesting flow of spirit this morning. And I just want to be surrendered to that always, that no matter what I plan, because I've come up with some really good plans that seem to somehow get changed. That's what happens, I guess, when you really want more than knowing, like knowledge. You want to be inspiration and you want to be inspired. And so I always want to be open. I want to be conduit. It's recognize that the electricity, the energy that is moving to, through, and as me doesn't come from me, and yet I'm a part of it. I get to be an active part of it. But this mood that's in here at this moment is so yummy, which is a high theological word. It's kind of a miracle I made it through seminary, but boy, if I'd been using yummy the whole time, I don't know if my professors would have been able to deal with that. I'd rather say yummy than amen, because to me, yummy means I'm in, whereas amen is just stuff, yeah. But as we've gone through this open door in 24, gosh, I've said this before, I had no idea what the doors would open to or make us leave out of. And in some ways, I've felt a little pushed at times. The nudge
that sometimes we ignore. We don't necessarily, the Spirit's always speaking, we're just not always listening. And that's okay too, so don't judge yourself for that. It just is a part of being human and all of the noise that's going on. But I felt directed to read from the Tao Te Ching. The Tao Te Ching has nothing to do with the Dow Jones. It's T-A-O, but in our English dialect we use, it sounds like a D. But it looks like Tao or Teo. You'll see it on my arm. And Tao is a word that Lao Tzu, who lived about 385 years before Jesus, lived in another part of the world, according to history, the history we have. Lao Tzu was one who really studied these as principles, and these became the virtues and the core values of Lao Tzu's life. And it just really resonated with me about 10 years ago. And it started to really become a part of me. Now, when I first started reading the Tao Te Ching, it was confusing because it's paradoxical. And some of the language, until you get to the place where you start feeling like you're traveling with Lao Tzu on his water buffalo, which is what he's visualized on in the depictions of Lao Tzu. Once you start traveling with Lao Tzu, then it's a little different because he, in his own cool way, begins to speak to us. And let me just say this about pure presence, because I know some people that come to church, they expect to hear a lot about Jesus, but let me just share with you so that I can maybe help us along here. Jesus was one of many who possessed the conscious awareness of his true nature, and so can you. Jesus was no more special than Lao Tzu, or Lao Tzu more special than Jesus, or Siddhartha Gautama, or any of the other great sages throughout time. And I know for some people that is controversial to say. I absolutely love Jesus, but I also love Lao Tzu, and I also love you. That rhymes. And let me say it this way: if I brought up a glass to pour water into, the water would take shape of the glass. And if I poured it into a mason jar, it would take shape of the mason jar. If I poured it into a solo cup, anybody ever use one of those in college? But if I still use them, if I poured water into it, it would take the shape of that vessel as well. My point is that the Spirit is the water, the presence is the water. It's poured into each vessel, and even though it's different, it's taking the shape of you if you'll allow it to show up as you. But Jesus would say to all of us, stop worshiping me. I wanted you to follow me because I was really going into some really cool places that you can go as well. Lao Tzu was saying the same thing with his life, and when he was asked to write how he felt, he wrote down 81 verses. Then they found more that were supposedly the lost writings of Lao Tzu, but they're not lost anymore because they're in text now, so apparently they're not lost. But these were 81 verses in the Tao Te Ching specifically. The Wahoo Ching is others, and you can read it in an afternoon, but you can study it for a lifetime. And until you're ready for it, I don't know that it speaks to you, but this speaks maybe to us today, and I want to share this real quick because I think it's going to take us somewhere. I said earlier that your heart is the light of the world. Don't let your mind cover it up. But how many remember the song in Vacation Bible School, or maybe you were in children's church? This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. My favorite verse was, hide it under a bushel. No! And the reason I liked it is because we could yell. So don't let the mind, the concepts that are conning you out of your greater life, don't let the mind cover up the light that the heart is. I think we have moved out of the season of just being tapped into our intellect to untapping from the keg of the intellect that has caused us to be intoxicated with information. And now we are moving in the sobriety of inspiration. We've been drunk on our religiosity. We've been drunk on dogma for long enough. It's time for us to get clean. It's time for us to get sober. Lao Tzu says, there was something formless and perfect before the universe was born. It is serene, empty, solitary, unchanging, infinite, without limitation, eternally present. It is the mother of the universe. For lack of a better name, I call it the Tao. T-A-O. It flows through all things, inside and outside, and returns to the origin of all things. The Tao is great. The universe is great. The earth is great. Humankind is great. And these are the four great powers: universe, earth, humanity, Tao before it all. Humankind follow the earth. The earth follows the universe. The universe follows the Tao. And the Tao follows only itself. Before God was, the Tao is. Now, this messes with us because we're like, wait, what? Yeah, before the concepts of God, God is. So I wanted to share with you today, because we are in this time of open door. We've been in this shift because shift happens. Holy shift. We've been going through these stages and phases of moving out of a previous way of doing life. And I really am convinced today that if we want to create a new heaven and a new earth, then we must go ahead and get about doing so instead of talking about it. Because I've heard a lot of prophets and prophetesses and people and preachers and even New Thought teachers for a long time talking about these principles, and we've talked about it until we've all heard it. And in fact, a lot of folks come to church with this attitude of, bless me if you can. Because we've heard it all. You know, and I've heard people say, Jon Scott doesn't really say anything new. I know. There's nothing really that new to say. There may be a new way to package it, but the truth has already been told. Has it been lived yet is the question. And the only reason I even bring it up is so that we will continually start to see it before us, so that we can start to live it. Muji Baba said this: the place you are looking for is the place from which you are looking. The place you're looking for is the place from which you are looking. And this quote, if you stayed with it just for the rest of 2024, you could free your life. Because everything you've been looking for already is in the place from where you've been looking the whole time. It's in you. You are the divine. John, you've said that to us before. I know, I'm going to say it every week. You are the divine. You are the happening of pure presence right now in human form. There's no more perfect that you can get. You are perfect. You are perfect. You are whole. You are complete already. Now see, that's an amen moment. You know why we have a hard time amening it? Because a lot of us don't believe it. Really. You know, I'll say, how many of you believe that all of the wealth you need already is within you? Yeah? You know, because I'll say, I am healthy, wealthy, and wise. And we'll confess it and we'll affirm it and we'll say, I am healthy, wealthy, and wise. All of the richness of the universe dwells within me, is flowing to me and showing up as me. And we'll say, I'm not sure I believe all of that. Because there's that little thing, well, it's a big thing, called the brain, that you never shut off. And by the way, you shouldn't. Some, it seems, have. So you shouldn't shut it off. Just like you shouldn't shut your lungs off. You should just know that you're not the one thinking. It's the mind that is thinking. Say that. I don't think. Thinking happens. Did you know you don't think? Thinking just happens? Am I the only one that hears the conversations in my head? The consistent chatter about everything. Now, that doesn't even matter what it is. About everything, the consistent chatter. But that is not who you are. And so a few virtues that I'd like to share with you today, because look, I'm just hanging out with you, okay? I didn't come to teach you anything. I just want to share with you some things that have freed me, some things that have caused me to begin to rise above all of the chaos of the world and to be able to turn the noise down. Even if I can't turn it off, I'm at least turning the volume down. And here's some of the concepts. For me, I began to find freedom when I stopped wanting to be interesting. When I stopped wanting to be interesting, I found freedom. When I stopped caring about whether somebody finds me interesting or not, I began to find my place in freedom. So many of us, we absolutely believe that we have to be somebody. All I'm working on right now is how to become nobody. Because ever since we were born, before you were born, people started trying to make you a somebody. See, when we talk about Black History Month, let me tell you something. It was never intended for Black History Month to go on infinitum. That was not the intention. The intention was to bring the information forward so that we could assimilate it into the understanding of American history, so that we could actually take a look at it to see it for what it is, but so that we could ultimately integrate it into our reality so that we would actually live with each other in complete harmony. The idea is not to be black or to be white or to be gay or to be straight or to be Christian or non-Christian or Hindu or Buddhist or any of these other labels. The idea is to be together in the oneness of the truth. So we see the illusion clearly. So we face the illusion clearly. Because racism is illusion. And it's delusional. Homophobia is an illusion and it's delusional. Whatever your pronoun is, I don't actually care that much about mine. I got to be honest with you. I don't care if somebody calls me dude or dudette. It makes no difference to me because I know before anybody ever identified me as a dude or a dudette, I showed up as spirit. Before it all. So we're taking off these labels because I know if you stop worrying about whether or not you're interesting, you become free. You stop looking for Mr. or Mrs. Right. You stop trying to quantify and make yourself worthy based on a standard that's false. I mean, the stuff we're doing, it really, if you think about it, is kind of insane. How many remember when reality TV became a thing? When I was growing up, you were supposed to watch TV so that you could sort of live in a fictional world for a few minutes. Then they came out with reality TV. And how real is that now? And then following that was this whole selfie generation. I don't know how they do some of the things they do with their faces. You know what I'm saying? And there's certain ways to stand so that you look. I went and I sat down at the beach on the Gulf. Some of y'all will get that because when I first moved here, I called it the ocean and I got in trouble. So I went and sat down at the beach on the Gulf, and this group of people come up, and they're chattering and laughing and having fun, and it was like, oh, wait. And they all went toward where the water was coming in, and I'm watching this happen, and they all start taking pictures of each other, and they're doing things, contorting their bodies in certain ways so they can lift and tuck and it was so uncomfortable. I'm having a moment where I'm going, can you just enjoy nature? No, you can't do anything natural. We like chocolate-covered cherries because we don't like All right. I've written that out. All of us, we think we need to be interesting, and therefore we're a prisoner. We need somebody to think we're okay so that we will think that we're okay. You're never going to be okay until you believe you're okay. And it doesn't matter how many people tell you you're okay. Don't tether your life to someone else. It's okay to partner up, but remember how to dance on your own. So, some of the virtues of my personal life, these are them. Okay? The next one. When you don't need to be impressive, you make the biggest impression through expression of your true self. When you don't need to be impressive, you make the biggest impression through expression of your true self. I remember, because this year, I'll be moving into my 30th year as an ordained minister. And it's been a hell of a trip. Because I started out 3 generations Pentecostal preachers, fundamentalist preachers. I mean, we knew how to get down with church. I mean, we got down. Now, not the snake handling, although there was pretty snaky people around, but none of that. But we knew how to shout it down. Man, we preached by the letter. We just opened up and let her fly. I mean, there was hermeneutics and homiletics, and exegeting scripture was foreign to us. It was just let the Holy Ghost lead. And there were all kinds of ghosts in our world. Demons and devils and God. And there was this war between Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker. That not really, but my point is the good and the evil thing. And it was constant. And you never knew. You didn't know if you were getting saved from the devil or getting saved from God. It depended on how mad they were. Because listen, I was saved multiple times. In fact, I was baptized. In fact, I think the last time they held me under for a while just to make sure it stuck. Until they saw bubbles, and then they let me up. But I never felt safe. So I grew up in church at 14 years old. I started preaching. And just a few years later, I was ordained as a minister. And started pastoring my first church at 19. And I labored over sermons. Especially if last week was a good one. You know what I mean? And it was only good if people responded. If people amened and laughed and woo, and you know what I'm saying, then it was good. Now, that didn't always happen when you told the truth. In fact, a lot of times it was quiet when the truth got spoken. But I needed to find a way to impress these folks. I needed to be interesting, and I needed to find a way to impress. So all that next week, if we had a good service, see, I enjoyed having a good service. I enjoyed lighting the fire. I enjoyed letting the Holy Ghost move, and people leaving going, Bishop John, it was so good today, and high-fiving and hallelujah, and gave in the offering, and all of the things that go along with that. I enjoyed that, but then as soon as it was over, I had to try to find a way next week to top that. So I needed to be impressive. The more I needed to be impressive, the less I became expressive of my true self. I became a performer. I became an actor. And I started tethering my whole life to whether someone said amen or not. Or whether somebody gave in the offering or not. Or whether I stepped on someone's toes. Folks, if you spend your life trying to impress other people, not only will you not make a true impression on the world, but you will become a robot and you will become a slave to their credit, a slave to their accolades, a slave to their compliments. You'll never be free a day in your life. So virtuous living is not worrying about being interesting and not worrying about being impressive. And then here's one that man, this messed with me the first time it came through. How many of y'all, you've been in spiritual practice for long enough that sometimes you'll get this, we call it a download, you know, and you'll be like, that don't make any sense to me. In fact, you get sensitive about it. You're like, I know I didn't hear that right. And then you have to sit with it for a few minutes. You ever argued with God before? It's really funny. It doesn't ever work. It doesn't ever turn out great. But, you know, you're like, that goes against my belief systems. Well, if you get rid of your BS, you don't have to worry about the BS, but belief systems. But this one messed with me most of this week. And that was this. When you lose the need for purpose, you awaken the true purpose which cannot be known by doing or having anything. There is no purpose. What? Anybody who's a business coach right now is going, shut up, shut up, shut up. Especially if you got any of the people you've been teaching lately. Because it's all about purpose. And it's all about the bottom line. And it's all about... There's no meaning to life. Don't get depressed. Hang tight a second. There's no meaning to life. There is no purpose. You are life itself. You don't have to get one. You are it. Pat yourself on the chest and say, I am it. In fact, you need to get yourself a t-shirt that says, I am it. Sassy. I am it. There's no meaning to life. You bring the meaning to it. You define and or confine yourself by what you make out of your life. There's no purpose for you to get. You have a dharma. And as long as you're looking for a purpose, the dharma can't come to the forefront because you're too busy trying to be somebody you're not or something you're not. Let me say it this way. It takes a lot of energy to be a particular person, but it takes no energy at all to be you. You will wear yourself out. You will wear yourself out trying to be a person, trying to be somebody. But you find ease, peace, and stillness when you just show up as you. I'm trying to help us here. I'm trying to help us get relief from this rat race. The suffering we have in this life is all based on the illusion we believe is real. You want to be released from your suffering in life? Then release yourself from needing to be interesting. Release yourself from needing to impress anyone. And release yourself from the need for a purpose. You are just who you are. Show up as your authentic self. And everything that you're supposed to do that comes along with that will automatically be. A horse doesn't have to practice neighing. Dogs don't have to practice barking. And they're not self-conscious. They don't care if you watch them do number 2. In fact, they'll be proud of it. They'll do it and run over to you, take you to it, and go, look what I just did. That's why they call it do, because I did it. They just operate out of their dharma. I mean, they're natural. What is natural will naturally unfold in you, my friend, when you take the unnatural away. We've normalized what isn't natural. We've normalized productivity. We've normalized this rat race of life. We've normalized work 40 and hope you have enough energy left to spend the money that you saved. We've normalized statements like this. What do you do for a living? What? I want you to think about the asininity of that. You don't make a living. You either are living or you're not. This could be why Jesus, the Master, said, I have come that you might have life and have it abundant. Not that you would get a life, but that you would wake up to the reality that you are life happening right now. You are the happening. This is what it means in the Old Testament when Jesus, or when God is referred to in the I want you to see this. Please see this, please. Oh my God, I can see it. And can I say it where you can see it? This voice speaks from the burning bush that's on fire but not consumed. Seems unnatural, doesn't it? Hang tight. This voice says, Yud He Vuv He. When Moses says, who are you? And who am I supposed to say sent me to free all of those who are in slavery? And the voice says, Yud He Vuv He, which being interpreted and translated into English means the happening sent you. In English Bibles, it says, I am that I am. That'll make a goosebump come up on you too. Because that means you, in this life, your answer to every question is, I am. What is it that you want? I am. Do you want to be healthy, wealthy, and wise? I am. Do you want to be healed? I am. Do you want to be happy? I am. Do you want to be joyous? I am. Do you want to be blissful? I am. I'm showing up as the happening all of the time. I don't need permission to be the I am. I've stopped working on trying to be a person, and I've decided to show up as me. Some people would say, John, simmer down. You're so excited. Well, I am, because this is the ultimate freedom. The ultimate freedom is to let go of the need to be interesting or impressive and to let go of needing a purpose. You are you. Perfect. Just the way you are. And when I see your face, there's not a thing that, not even with a filter, you're amazing. That song became a hit song in a world that wants filters on every photograph. So we don't show our blemishes. It's okay. Let nature unfold naturally, because your need to control life is exactly what's controlling you. Your need to control life is exactly what's controlling you. It's wild. Life is wild, untamable. Life is beyond label. Before God and any concept of God existed, and you existed in the heart mind of God. You are already an emanation and a manifestation of the pure presence of God on its way to show up in the form that you've showed up as. The only thing in this life we have to do is to become fully aware of that so that we can fully embody that. And literally live the outpicturing of the image of love. You were born in the image of love. You were born in the image of divine. You are the Tao presence, showing up in every single thing we call moments. Every second and every minute. That's you. God in human form. Well, why didn't they tell me this when I was growing up? Because they still wanted to control our minds. Because if they can control your minds, they can control your life. And this is why we put religion on notice. I don't know about any other church or spiritual community in the United States or in the world, but I'll tell you this, as far as this one is concerned, we've put religion on notice. The cat's out of the bag. And we're giving birth to a litter. We're a group of people who actually believe that we can shift this world toward what we envision it being rather than being shoved into the mold of the paradox. Okay, I'm going to close. Somebody say. Y'all know me too well. Oh. Dying to your own attachment is a beautiful death. Because this death releases you into real life. You have to die as a seed before you'll ever live as a tree. October of last year, looking at my spiritual father in a 51 pounds lighter than he had been just a couple of months before that, seemingly dying of cancer. He said to me, Jonathan, CDP, as I call him, Carlton Pearson, the only one besides my mother who calls me Jonathan. That's my legal name. My mother calls me Jonathan. The CDP started years ago calling me Jonathan. That's when he wasn't calling me Johnson. Because he would call me Johnson and he would call my brother D.E. Donaldson. So he would say Donaldson and Jonelson. So he looked at me and he said, after a few minutes of sitting with him, trying not to show the shock of all of the weight he'd lost, he said, Jonathan, unless a seed goes into the ground and dies, it remains alone. But if it goes into the ground and dies, it multiplies. Now, I knew what he was talking about, and I rebuked him quietly and easily. I said, no, CDP, you're not giving up. We're going to do everything we can to fight this cancer. You're not giving up. He said, did I say I was giving up? He said, I'm merely pointing out that unless the seed goes into the ground and dies, it never becomes what it was fully intended to be. So your life, it is true as well, my friend, that you must die as a seed in order to live as a tree. In order for you to move through these open doors and to become altogether new, born again, as we've referred to it in the Christian faith, born again so that you can see, or a new perception, a new conception maybe. In order for you to do that, you got to let go. You got to release. We're not here to do, we're here to let. We're not even here to get, we're here to let. There's nothing to get. We're here to let the unfolding happen in our lives. So I'm going to ask you, if you would, bow your heads for just a moment as we bring this time together to conclusion. Thank you for just letting me chat with you today. I'm not going to pretend that what I've shared with you today is easy, because I know that we go right back out into the world tomorrow, or later today. There's these things out there happening that try to demand that we be interesting and be impressive and that we be here on purpose. We're going to hear it. But I'm asking us to consider this once again, that you remember that your heart is the light of the world and that you be mindful not to cover it up with your mind. Keep that heart wide open. And I want to ask you to hear these words. Surrender. And let the silence hold you. Surrender to the source. Surrender to awareness. For this is the only place of real security and true protection. Surrender your heart, and you will know all things. Surrender your heart, and you will know all things. Today I'm letting go of the need to be impressive, to be found interesting. I'm letting go of the need to be driven by a particular purpose. I'm surrendering to the all-knowing, the pure presence, pure consciousness, the source. And I'm allowing my natural self to finally unfold. I am embodying the I am that I am, without fear, without worry, without apprehension. Because this presence that flows to, through, and as me is never in absence, always here within me. As I walk through these open doors in 24, I'm not going to show up the same way I used to be. Behold, I make all things new. I show up not as a person, but as presence. The Tao, God, Brahman, essence, source, the I am that I am. So if you would repeat this after me. Love is who I am. Gratitude is my attitude. Abundance is my nature. Well-being is my birthright. And so it is. Namaste. Namaskar. Reverend Aileen, if you will come. God bless you all.
Thank you all so much. Thank you, Reverend Jon. Isn't it very freeing to know that we can just be and not having to impress? But I am going to ask, before we do the offering, Alexandra Geiger, would you mind standing? She's the lady with those two beautiful dogs over here. So I just wanted to point her out. Alexandra is going to be, and her colleague will be providing a class beginning on Tuesdays called Compassionate Communication. So if you'd like more information about what that class is and what it entails, Alexandra with her two beautiful dogs will be outside. To the right or to the left, Alexandra? Where will you be? Behind the flyers towards the welcome desk. So just to ask to gain more information if this is something that you're interested in. And we certainly need compassionate communication during this year, 2024, right, for many reasons. So as always, this is our time when we prepare our sacred giving. So I want to say thank you to all of you here in this moment. Ushers, you can begin to come forward to receive the offering. So I'm going to ask us all now in this moment just to take a moment to give thanks and gratitude for our abundance, maybe expressing I am abundant in this moment, and reminding you all of our 5 ways that we give here at First Unity. We text to give at 833-691-6105. Second way to give is download our First Unity app and follow the yellow heart and the prompts. Third way to give is our auto give program that you set up, automatically choose the amount you want to give each month. Fourth way to give is mail your check or your money order in. And then finally, somebody laughed, is there such a thing as a money order still? I don't know, I was just thought maybe. Don't know. Because we're all in a digital age, right? So you can take out your phone, snap a picture, and that will take you directly to the donation page. Thank you all of you at home online for your sacred giving. Thank you all of you here present. We so appreciate all the different ways you share your time, your talent, and your treasure. So I'm going to invite us all now to stand as we confidently and boldly state our abundance prayer. The abundance of God is my infinite source. I now open my mind and my heart to give and receive all God's good, all God's prosperity, all God's abundance. As God as my source, all things are possible, and so it is.
Gratitude is my attitude. Abundance is my nature. Well-being is my birthright. See you tonight at the Super Bowl party. Woo!